Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Hong Kong Sevens. This one, a semi-final between second-ranked Ireland and France, who are not too far down after a couple great legs over the last few legs of the Sevens. Looking through at the starting lineup, Zach Ward, Gavin Mullen, Mark Roach, Terry Kennedy, Matthew McDonald, Harry McNulty and Ed Kelly will be the men on the field for the French. Then for the Irish, well, that was the Irish, my apologies. Then for the French, it is Pascal, Zedar, Grandier, Stephen Perez Martin, Nelson Epi, Andy Timo, and Jordan Sefo there as the last man for the French. Go the Irish, says Pads Ablaze there. This is going to be an entertaining game between these two sides. They are normally very close when they play, and I don't think this one is going to be any different. I actually just mentioned that France got themselves the gold, breaking that 19-year drought. Of course, they had Dupont. They do not have him for this one, though. That could be a bit of a hit. For Fiji TV, used to live all the games for free, but now they don't. And it is a massive shame because Fiji and Sevens, it's such a massive part of Fiji as a country and brings the whole place together. And it's a shame that they don't show the games for free in Fiji anymore, and I wish that they did again, but that is now going to be claimed by Stephen Perez Martin. Going off to the left-hand side now, Grandier. Back across Zadar to Pascal. And for France, they will look for plenty of offloads. They're currently ranked 4th on the World Sevens circuit, so if they can get through to the final and back it up with another win here, they could possibly find themselves climbing that little bit more. Stephen Perez Martin with the carry now. Nelson Epi scored a crucial try. Game up against the Samoans, up against the Fijians, just to give them that bit more of a boost. Now another step from Grandier, goes across to Stephen Perez Martin, trying to back his pace, but Terry Kennedy able to shut him down relatively quickly there. Trying to push him towards the touchline, not successful. Epi going back across to Zaydar in the midfield. Timo now to Pascal. It's good face play at the moment from the French. They have been attacking for the first full minute of the semi-final. Timo with some nice stepping, lures in two defenders, gets his offload away to Pascal, who scores it between the posts. As New Zealand played yet. They just played in the women's, and they are through to the final. The men's final, or the semi-final for the men, is up against Australia, and that has taken place in only about 20 or so minutes time. So we are pretty close to seeing New Zealand in action, but great stepping from Andy Timo, and then to be able to lure in, like I said, two defenders, get that offload away, just means you have so much space for your teammate. Was a good try there. Kick goes over from Stephen Perez Martin. It's now going to make the score 7-0 in favour of the French. So a dream start to the match for them. They have yet to give Ireland any sort of possession throughout this game. And the all-time head-to-head, France have played 15 times up against the Irish, and they have won 11 of them. Ireland have won 4. So more times than not, the French are the side who get themselves the victory. And the winner of this game will face the winner of New Zealand versus Australia. The other semi-final, Stephen Perez Martin not releasing penalty, goes against him there. I'll be happy enough with that there for the Irish, just to break that momentum that we're seeing. Current score 7-0, even though the scoreboard only says 5. Still a nice lead for the French. Yeah, Matthew McDonald, first of all, was just looking for that turnover as soon as he could get it. So there might be an injury here for Mullen. I think he's been nursing a bit of an injury that forehead for a majority of this Hong Kong Sevens competition. Just getting that heavy strapping. Looks like they are going to kick this one for touch here once he has been all strapped up. A man is doing kung fu wearing a French flag. You don't see that every day. Of course, in Hong Kong, that is just a usual occurrence, though. At the Sevens, the atmosphere is always phenomenal, and it's no different this week. Roach. Going to boot this ball into touch for Ireland. I've just mentioned they have been consistent here, the Irish, all throughout this 2023-24 series, which is why they're in second place. They haven't taken out too many titles, but they've been consistently making it far in the competition. Argentina at the moment, they are the only side secure, but the Irish, if they won this league, I believe they would almost go ahead of Los Pumas. Now Mark Roach going back across. Nice run forward from Gavin Mullen. Terry Kennedy back across to the right-hand side. Nice slinging pass. They move up to the 22 now for Ireland, but the ball is stripped. Brilliant bit of work there from, I think it was Jordan Sefo. It looked like everyone was confused, though, and whether or not it was a strip or whether there was a knock-on. Gavin Mullen now passes on the outside. Chance here for Kelly. And just short of the line. Thought about reaching out, but he would have been slightly short there, Ed Kelly. Another penalty advantage going the way of the Irish. France committing 5 men to that breakdown. All they have to do here, Ireland, is sling this ball out wide, and it should be a run-in try. It's taken a bit longer than it should have, though, but Zach Ward, he's a try-scoring machine, and he scored the most tries out of any player for Ireland throughout the 2023-24 series, and you can understand why. That is now 22 tries that man has got. Hi, Hamish, how's your day been? I went to a Hamilton Lake with my volunteer friend Denver and Reed. Says Ollie there, so it's been all right so far. We have seen some good sevens action. Ed Kelly so close to being able to stretch out and score himself that try, but rather than getting pinged for the double movement, instead fires it out wide. And Zach Ward, he finishes everything. It does finish that one as well. They're just checking some foul play here on Ed Kelly. It's going to be a yellow card for Jordan Sefo. No mitigation. He wasn't ducking down. Jordan Sefo now. High tackle, yellow card is the call. They'll be frustrated about that, France, as they are now playing with 6 men on the field, and it gives Ireland a great chance to be able to lead at half-time if they can make the most of this next 2 minutes. It's a tough kick for Mark Roach. He's a capable kicker when it comes to getting those ones over, but that one has missed, which leaves the score at 5 points to 7 now, still in favour of Les Bleus. Zach Ward taking some deep breaths. 22 times he has been able to put that ball down. Got to be up there with one of the leading try scorers in the Sevens circuit so far. Like I mentioned, he's ahead of Jordan Conroy. He's ahead of Terry Kennedy. There's some great names for Ireland, but Zach Ward is almost at the top of the bunch. A little bit of a counter-ruck there from Ireland, not working out for them. Stephen Perez-Martin goes back across to Didier Pasquet now. Does Stephen Perez-Martin again. Some quick hands coming from the French Zidar. Tackle 40 metres out from their line. Pasquet firing it back across to the left this time. Didier gets it to Timu. Tackled well by Mark Roach. He gets the knees down, so they do now have to release him. That was strategic. Going short side now. Stephen Perez-Martin. Great pace from him. And he's cutting through. Good chase coming here from the young Irish McDonald, but he doesn't get the ankle tap he was after. And France get themselves another try. And he is going to stall as much time of this yellow card as he physically can. And he does score it now for France. That'll be his 9th on the Sevens circuit for this year. So that just shows you how far ahead Zach Ward is in terms of some of those overall scoring stats. A good chase from Matthew McDonald, one of the younger players. And this Irish side wanted to get that last-ditch effort in. Wasn't able to stop Stephen Perez-Martin, though, perhaps just saying to the French selectors, we know you've got your shiny new toy in Dupont, but don't forget about me, as he's now got 103 all-time tries for the French. With 20 seconds remaining, a 9-point lead at the moment for the French. Exactly where they want to be in this game. And with their man disadvantage, they've done well. And Mr. Brave, inflation happens. says Ivan. Now pass out wide. Epi running. He was close to going into touch, but he just managed to free that ball up in time. Timo again going back across to the right here. Skip pass. Zedar goes to Steven Perez Martin. Grande showing pace and flung into. Oh, he's thrown there. Zach Ward helps him back up to his feet, but he could have just decapitated that man. It's very good that Grandier is back on his feet because he just got ragdolled by Zach Ward, who I think underestimated his strength. Could have done some real damage. But halftime in this contest, it is going to be 14 points to 5. I like that they're advertising golf at the moment. The Masters starting on the 12th of April. Who knows? Maybe we cover some golf on the channel. Me and Distracted Sports all throughout that podcast that we did a few days ago on the Rugby Recap YouTube channel. We just talked golf, and we talked, of course, the Super Rugby as well, but Super Rugby this round, we'll probably talk about it on the podcast as well, but it's been a disappointing round. There's really been no, surprises in some regard. Fiji and Draw Rebels was probably the game that could have gone either way, maybe Waratahs Brumbies as well, but overall, a lot of the games just went exactly how people thought they would, and in some regards, they were a little bit more one-sided than some anticipated as well. Look at that. Hello, says Dio Duck. Welcome in, mate. Of course, be sure to check out the final as well. That is coming just around the corner. It will be at about 10:50 p.m. New Zealand time. That will be the winner of this game, taking on the winner of the next contest, which is going to be New Zealand versus Australia. Will someone sign the boy's shoe in the grandstand? Says the Blues Nate. Which boy are we talking? Is there one that's got to sign somewhere? I haven't actually seen him as of yet. But then that might actually be because in New Zealand we've got ads at the moment rather than showing the stands. Currently 14 minutes remaining until Australia will be playing New Zealand in the second semi-final. We are covering that one on the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Super Rugby should get rid of Moana and Drew and try to negotiate with two South African clubs to join Super Rugby, says Ivan. I don't think they'll do it though, because I think that Moana Pacifica and Fiji and Drew, the best bet if they were going to do something like that would be to add 2 more teams. I don't think they'll get rid of 2 sides that they've locked in until about 2026. And also it's helped grow Pacific Island rugby. Yes, sometimes they're not getting the results that they're after, mainly Moana Pacifica, but there's still a lot that they bring to the Super Rugby competition. You watch Fiji and Drua games when they're playing in Fiji, and the crowd is like nothing else. You don't get that atmosphere pretty much anywhere in the world. Now scrum feed for the French, sitting about 25 metres out from the Irish line. Steven Perez Martin going to snipe to the short side. Mark Roach was able to find him though, and now they're going to hold him up. Now he's got the knee down. They do have to release him. Firing this one off to the left-hand side. Great step from Grandier. Almost, yeah, he's still breaking through tackles. Jordan Sefo, he'll be fresh from his yellow card. Passes out wide. Nelson Epe, loop around player from Zedar. And that is fantastic work from the French to get themselves another try. And they are showing, like I mentioned, Dupont, of course, not there for this Sevens leg. They're showing they may not have even needed him in the first place. Yes, he's going to help them a lot, but they're showing that they can get the goods done without. Antoine Dupont, Porsche interview, young lad, holding his shoe in his hand, waiting to be signed. Says Blues Nate. Okay, see, I didn't end up seeing that one. I think I was setting up the next stream maybe during that time. Are they playing for the crowd or to compete in the competition, says Ivan? I think both. I know that you can try and say, oh, they're playing because they're trying to entertain their fans. But, isn't that also a part of what makes rugby special, that connection between fans and the players? If you're going to be a team that don't acknowledge the crowd, if you don't let them play any factor in the way that you play, then you're going to be a side that you may have supporters, but if you're struggling, they're all going to leave you, aren't they? The Fiji and Drua, win, lose or draw, they get a crowd to their games. And even when they're away, they get a crowd. We look at someone like, for an instance, the South African Blitzboks. When they were winning everything, they had one of the biggest fan bases they had ever had. As soon as they started losing games, not even joking, 95% of Blitzboks fans that were only there because they were winning ditched them. And that doesn't happen with the Fijian Drua because they've made that connection. That's the difference. And we have got there another try I should mention for France while we are at it. 26 points to 5 now. This is a one-sided affair here. But yeah, that's a big thing. Like, you've got to make the fans feel something. And that's why the Fijian Drua, they sold, I think it was something like 120,000 pieces of merchandise throughout last season because of what they do on the field. People love to support them. They love to be entertained by them. And yes, they win at home. They're just working on trying to get themselves away wins. And that is something that will come with time and come with more experience. 3.5 minutes remaining here in this contest. Passed out wide. Now Terry Kennedy back across to the left-hand side. Mark Roach goes across to Niall Comerford. Tackled on the halfway line. Zach Ward still. In fact, that was Gavin Mullen still rocking that headband. He did take a knock in the first half. Still there for Sean Cribben. Terry Kennedy looping around the back. Thought about looking for that next pass, but instead will take it to ground. Going to the left-hand side, Mark Roach. One more pass on the outside to Terry Kennedy. Niall Comerford. Back across to the right-hand side. McNulty. Seems like Ireland aren't completely out of this game, but they will need 3 converted tries in the next 3 minutes to be able to take this to golden point time. Oh, good Amish young lady stood out more during these events. The Rugby itch. Beast to me says Blues 8. Yeah, I haven't seen Tim once. I think he's in one of the end stands, but yeah, I haven't really seen him, to be honest. Hopefully we get to see him before the end, maybe. Although I also haven't been scanning the crowd as well, which probably makes it a bit harder to find him. Counter right there from the French, and they will win the penalty for Ireland not releasing in the breakdown. More than likely now for France, they can kick this one either for touch or they can go for the scrum. I ain't seen him yet as well. Sears Blues Nate and Draw Moana are doing better than the South African club so far in Super. Sears yikes. And like, that's the thing. Like, there's always going to be comparisons of where certain sides are at certain points, but we've got to remember these are still very young sides. In terms of the Drua, they've only been in the competition for, I believe this is their 3rd year now. And same with Moana Pacifica. And the fact that they've had so many changes in their squad, mainly because of overseas sides signing their players. Like, that's the thing. It's going to be great for Pacific Island Rugby in terms of being able to support those players financially. You look at someone like Vinay Habosi. Yikes, you're obviously blind. Says, Ivan, I assume that is for Yikes. I was about to say Yikes, that was for your one, but I realized your name is literally Yikes. So, like, that made sense. But, like, that's the thing. The URC, South African sides, I think, have done a lot better than some people anticipated. But should they have underestimated the South African teams as much? I don't think they should have. We saw, the Bulls dominate Leon in the Champions Cup just a little bit ago. And then the Stormers very unlucky up against La Rochelle in that Champions Cup. But, like, I feel like all sides can be looked at, like, depending on where your bias sits, depends on what kind of opinion you have of a side, if that makes sense. Now, nicely taken by the Irish. Only 1 minute remaining on the clock, though, so they are really in trouble. The ball is out. Terry Kennedy does try and step. He's got the man with him, Mullins, if he needs him, but he decides to take contact and run straight at Jordan Sefo, who already had a yellow card earlier on in this contest. Back across to the right to Matthew McDonald, and the penalty goes the way of the Irish. They cannot win this game from here. There is not enough time left, but they can still get themselves a reasonable scoreline. That's a knock-on, though, from Ireland. A rough pass, and that is going to be another scrum feed for the French. I can see. Does Hammy and Ivan and his club sucks? No, his club's, like, that's the thing. The South African sides do not suck. Like, I think that that's, once again, when I talked about the bias coming into it. You know, if you're from New Zealand, you're, of course, going to feel a little bit more partial to support New Zealand sides. If you're from Australia, Australian sides. South Africa, South African sides. But no one can deny the impact that South African sides have already had on the URC. And, like, the fact that they have got a few sides that are top contenders, yes, we could count the Sharks out of that for now, but who knows where they will be in the future. I'm back across the right-hand side now. Little chip in behind attempted from the Irish. And that is going to be the siren. France, they give away the penalty in the breakdown, though, so Ireland get one last crack. I'm sure France would have just wanted to boot that ball into touch and call it a day. Loose ball. Matthew McDonald, it goes over his head. So it's cleaned up by Che Mullins. Back across. Cross kick attempted again. They're just trying to be fancy here, the Irish. Terry Kennedy for the corner, and he does manage to score it. Chill. That's just my personal opinion. We South Africa are the world champion. Said Ivan in there, but Terry Kennedy, no celebration after scoring that one. That is mainly because Ireland know that this was a game that they should have been a lot more competitive in. Amish's mum's favourite team is the South African team, says Grant in there as well. But looks like it's going to be the end of this contest with a kick to come. Right, the time is off at the moment, but the kick is missed, and that'll make the score 26 points to 10. So France advance. That almost rhymes. Through to the final, where they will face the winner of the next semi-final between New Zealand and Australia. So that one has taken place in about 5 minutes' time. We are starting the live stream in 4, but I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the next one.